All right, guys. So thanks for being here tonight. It's our leaders call here. Haven't had one of these in a while, but tonight is going to be a little bit more of a laid back call. Tonight, we are going to just get all up front and open and honest with each other, and we are going to share our struggles because Holy Mary, Mother of God, this past 3 weeks have been the biggest struggle in this entire time since being a coach. I mean, it is, I don't know if you read my whole thing in the team page, but that doesn't even do justice to really like how I have been feeling. I mean, it has been, so I'm just going to be honest. So then that way we can kind of all just put it out there. And I just want you guys to know that, you know, from the outside in, you guys might look and see, the success I'm having and think that it's just easy for me. Kathy just got lucky. She just doesn't have any struggles. Like it's like a cakewalk for her, all that stuff. And that is just so far from the truth. So I go away on the cruise, you know what I mean? The Success Club cruise. And I was kind of like already in a little bit of like a down because, I've just been working so hard to bring on, people onto the team. And then when you see people with potential come on, you spend a lot of time with them, right? Because you want them to succeed. Like that's my main goal. When I bring any coach on, like I give them everything I got, like so much, like so above and beyond, when I give them, because I just want nothing more than for them to have success with this. I don't want to be alone, guys, on this journey, right? I want other people going with me the distance. So, before I left, I had already kind of had like 3 leaders just fall off the radar and quit. People who had like real potential, diamonds on the team, people who were like legit building a team, which kills me even more. So I kind of was like in this like down thing, and I was kind of starting to like question myself even a little bit and be like, oh Jesus, like maybe I'm just, I don't know, like what am I doing wrong? You know what I mean? It's kind of like how I started to think, but then I was like, I don't like to think like that because you can be your own worst enemy, and then it's like you go down this bad dark path, and I don't want to go down that path. So thank God then we had the cruise, right? And I was like, this will be good. This will be just what I needed. We're going to go away. It's going to like relight this fire inside of me. It's just, I need some downtime so desperately from the kids. It's just been hell like recently, and just with the business and with that, and just a lot of stress and all that. So I'm like, this is just what I need. So I go on the cruise, and I'm like having this great time, and and I'm like, this is awesome. This is so great. And I'm listening to Carl, and I'm seeing the top 10, and I'm, hearing all this stuff, and I'm like, oh yes, like I just can't wait like to get back. It's going to be awesome. Like, and then like I get back and it was like sheer hell broke loose. It was like, I came home expecting, the kids to be all great and excited and just, which obviously they were excited to see us, but I just expected everything to be totally different. And instead it was like 2 demons possessed their bodies, and like they were acting like I had never seen before in their life. They didn't sleep. Like the first night I got back, I only slept for an hour and a half because they woke up at 3:45 in the morning, and we got home at 2 a.m. So I was up for the day. Then the next night, same thing, 4 a.m. So they were sleep deprived. I was sleep deprived. They were crying, screaming, yelling. And then I had like one of the top leaders on the team just quit out of the clear blue sky. So I was just like, oh my God, I can't take this anymore. Like, I was like, really, like, I don't want to say who the person's name is, like on the call or anything, but it was just like, I mean, I've recruited over 100 coaches since becoming a coach. And let's just put it this way. She was definitely one of the top 3 I've ever brought on. And so it's just like, oh my God, like, I don't know. I started to basically question myself. That's what kind of tends to happen. You start to think, I started to think, like, God, like, what am I doing wrong? Like, this is really stressful. Like, I feel like I'm working like all the time, like at night, and I'm, trying my best, but obviously I'm not doing something right. If these people are quitting, like, why are they quitting? Why aren't they staying? They're doing so good. They have all this potential. Why are they leaving? Nothing drives me more nuts than that. Like, nothing literally drives me more nuts than when someone has that potential, because it's very rare, and then they just quit. So I started to do all this, like, I don't know, I didn't feel like working on the business. So I came home from the trip, which is, it's bad when you're not working every day because you lose that momentum, so it's like, you have to, like, you know what I mean? It's like you have to do a little bit of something every day. But I was like, all right, it's on vacation. I'm going to stick with my posting at least. I'll write back every now and then to some emails, but I'm not going to obviously hit it hard like I do at home. And so, I was totally off momentum. I was on the vacation, came back, kids were like crazy crap show. Then this other leader quit. And so now I'm thinking, holy mother of God, these people like who helped get our team to 10-star, like where the hell are they? They run. And so I'm like, it must be me. Like I'm obviously not doing something right. I'm obviously not helping them like as much as I should, or they're just not getting something. And I feel like responsible for it. And so then I start to kind of point the finger back at myself, and then I didn't want to work at all. I came home like feeling like, oh yeah, I can't wait to work. And then that all happened. And I was like, I don't want to do anything. Like, I don't want to do anything for this business. Like, I just want to shut the computer down. I have no desire to go into 22-minute hardcore. I could care less about following the nutrition plan right now. I just want to sleep. That's what I was feeling. And it was like sleep because of like the stress. Because even when I was starting to get like lots of sleep, like after being home, I still was like, oh my God, Nick, I'm so tired. Like, I just want to go to bed. And so like I did that. And it was because of the stress. It was just such a big, heavy weight on me. And so, so you start to question yourself, right? And this happens in the business. My whole point after rambling, first is I wanted to show you that I'm a real person that struggles, right? A lot more than you think. I just try to hold myself together, for everybody. But major struggles, like I said, this was the most trying time. This has been the most trying time for me these past couple months, with just seeing such strong leaders quit and like not putting all the blame on myself, and just like, and then I'm bringing in all these active coaches. So you guys might see, I'm bringing in all these active coaches. Yeah. And then none of them are doing anything. So I'm like, what am I missing? Like, what the heck am I doing wrong? And, and I hate to blame, myself, because then it's like, I have really high expectations for myself, and I have high expectations, and sometimes can tend to be major control freak, and I don't know, and so when things go wrong, I get discouraged very easily with myself. And so through all this, I was like, all right, like I can't keep going down this road. I've already been gone now for 6 full days. Now it's been 4 more days of like wallowing in my sorrows and not wanting to work. And like, barely keeping up with, I felt so far behind from the vacation. And then I came back and just felt like, I don't even want to do this. And so then it's so easy to lose sight of, like why you're in this, or like what brought you to this to begin with, especially like as you get further in this, when I'm almost 2 years in and things in my life are completely different now than they were when I first started. So it's so easy to lose track of that. And it would be really easy to just be like, screw it. Like, but then what I did was, I just really, really, really have been hitting the personal development hard, like way more than I was doing before, because I'm not going to quit. Like, I am not a quitter. Like, I will be damned if I quit. Like, I am in this for life. And I just had to kind of refocus myself again and remember, why I'm in this. And I'm in this for my family. I'm in this for my kids. And I think back to how when I first started this, I was going to have to leave them and go back to my teaching career, and now because of this, I don't have to do that. And so I started to think like, all right, you got to think way more long-term. Like, I know I'm in this for life, right? I'm not going to give up. And just the personal development has been really, really helping me. I've just been really doing more of it every day, not just like the 10 minutes, so now I'm doing like the 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership by John C. Maxwell. And just really hitting it like double the amount of time every single day, because that's what I need, because I'm going to be my own worst enemy. Like, I'm not kidding you. Like, me and Nick, like the talk that we were having amongst each other the past few days, it was like, you might as well have just said, it's all my fault. Coaches aren't getting started right because I'm not doing something right. And your leaders are quitting because you're doing something wrong. Like, you're not helping them or something. Like, that's pretty much like how I was thinking. And that's just so not true. So I feel a lot better now. And just, I'm still working on it. Obviously, it's not going to change like that, like a flick of a switch. But just realizing that, you're in this long term, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not going anywhere. I don't care how hard it gets. I don't care how discouraged I get. I don't care who quits. I am not going to give up on my dream because of some discouraging times, because it doesn't matter. Even if you're at your full-time job, it doesn't matter, if you're just a stay-at-home mom. Like, there's times, guys, where I just don't want to be a mom either. But guess what? I'm a mom. There are times where I'm like, I need to just take off and drive this car, like, to the closest hotel and see you later. Nick, you can deal with this. I just need a break. But, you're a mom. And the majority of the time, it's all good. But it doesn't mean that there's not going to be stressful times and hard times. And so it's all with how you deal with those hard times. And so I've seen so many people come and go in this business, like way more than I'd like to see come and go. And the difference between the people who make it and the difference with people who don't is just, they just don't believe in themselves, and they are very quick to throw in the towel. And just being realistic, I think, just when I was going through this, just saying, like, you're gonna go through hard times. Like, trust me, there are times where you're on a high in this business. I've been there, you've been there too. You might be in one of them right now. It's not gonna stay like that. There's gonna be times that are gonna really test you. And like, you're gonna sit there and you're gonna question yourself, and you're gonna think, like, is this really for me? Like, you know what I mean? Do I really even have what it takes to really go all the way? Am I even a good coach? Am I a good leader? And you're going to ask yourself those questions. But it's how you deal with those tough times and those discouraging times and the struggles that are going to either make you or break you. And so, like I said, I was doing a lot of negative self-talk the past couple of weeks. You heard what I was thinking to myself, and then you start to have a pity party for yourself. You know what I mean? It's like, oh God, it's like, it's just this horrible negative spiral. Like, and I hate feeling like that. Don't you guys just hate feeling like that? You know what I mean? Like, when something's just not going the way you hoped or had planned, or you were so built up so high, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom. It's like, oh, that's how I felt like the past couple of days. It's like, yeah. And it's like, God damn it. It's like, is anybody going all the way with me? You know what I mean? And so that's, for me, like, for being in it for 2 years, like, I was like thinking that, like, Jesus, am I going to be the only one standing at the top of this thing at the end of the day? Like, who's coming with me? And so you gotta get out of that self-talk, and the personal development. I'm telling you, like, it is going to be the only thing that is going to get you through it. Like, it is going to be the only thing. And so what I did was, since I was so upset about all this, I just made a conscious effort to do double time personal development. And then I said, okay, how can I change this? All right, if I got to get, I need to grow. If I want my business to grow, if I want the organization to grow and the team to grow, I have to grow as a leader. And that's only going to happen if I continue to dive into personal development. And this is what's going to help me get over these tough times and get through these struggles, is by diving into the personal development. And that's what I did. And then these past few days, I just controlled what I could control. I can't control that multiple people who had such great potential that quit, or just stopped talking to me, or unfriended me, or even blocked me. I can't control that. You know what I mean? Like, they've made a decision. I've done all I can as a leader. I've told them that they have great potential. I've helped them every single step of the way, as much as I seriously could, probably way more than the average coach would do. And at the end of the day, this was their decision. And you can't sit there and focus on the people who just fade out or quit. You can't spend your time and energy focusing on them. You have to focus on the people on your team who are doing something. Like, the ones who are actually showing up, doing something, the ones who are going to go with you all the way without a shadow of a doubt. That's who you need to be thankful for. That's who you need to pour all of your energy into to help grow them. You can't worry about those other people, because they're just going to drain you, and they're just going to suck the life out of you, and you're going to get yourself down in a negative spiral. So I controlled what I controlled. So these past few days, what have I been doing? I said, this is it. We need new energy on this team. I can't take it. I've had way too many leaders fall off and quit. It's time to get more. And so what did I do? I didn't do anything else these past few days except specifically target people who I think would be awesome active coaches on the team. People who seem like me, who are upbeat, who are positive, who know that this is going to take work, who aren't going to be instant gratification people. And I've been targeting them. And so now I have like 15 potential active coaches. Are they all going to join? No, of course not. But I feel a heck of a lot better now, because now I've been talking to new people who have energy and who are excited about this opportunity and they can't wait to get started. And so control what you can control. And just, I feel like, I mean, everybody struggles, guys. Like every single person in this business struggles. It doesn't matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're number one coach in the company or not. Like you're going to have struggles, but it's how you overcome them, you know, and use them as learning experiences, you know, honestly is what it is. Like you have to learn, you have to take every struggle that you go through and use it as like a learning moment. And how can you grow from it? You know, so you go through, you have your pity party thing and you get discouraged, but then I'm telling you guys, you have to dive into personal development and absorb it and then learn from it and actually apply it, you know, not just listen to it and let it go in one ear and out the other. So anyways, yeah. So I wanted to share all that with you guys because like I said, I know from the outside and I've heard so many people, trust me, I have a lot of kind of different success partners in this business. And I'll tell them like, I am like really struggling right now. Like I like need help big time. And they're like, oh my God, how the hell could you be struggling? You recruited 7 active coaches or you had SC 20 points already, whatever. No guys, like what you see on the outside, like it's different from what the person is actually battling behind the scenes. So it's not always what you think it is. And so, you know, I just think it's important, especially as a leader, to be real and upfront and honest, so that you guys don't think that like I'm like some kind of freak of nature, you know, that doesn't struggle or have hard times, and that I'm not tested on my belief in this, because it happens and it's happened multiple times. But this time, definitely way more than any other time. But like I said, I feel so much better. And so I just kind of wanted to use tonight as a chance to kind of just be honest and open up with your struggles. You know, it's not, you know, you shouldn't have to go through this, you know, when you're struggling or you're hitting bumps in the road alone. That's what the team is for. And that's what personal development is for. So does anybody have anything that they're kind of struggling with, or maybe they're in a rut, or just, I don't know, just everybody has different things that they struggle with. Does anybody have anything that they wanted to kind of just put out on the table? You know, this is a non-judgmental group. That's what I love about it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous to share all my stuff on the team page because I'm like, oh my God, like crap, these people like think of me as like the leader of this team of 500 people in this page. And it's like, but I'm a real person. Like we're all real people, and it would not be normal if I did not share my struggles and the trying times with you guys. So does anybody have anything that they'd like to add? Please, God, let there be somebody else. That they would, oh, good, Jane, go ahead. Do you know how to unmute?
Oh, no, I wasn't going to share. I was just going to, I'm dealing with very much the same issues right now. I'm stuck at Success Club 4. I'm doing the work of inviting. I'm forming. I'm giving away more Shakeology samples than I ever in a million years thought I would. Like I'm trying to do everything I possibly can. But once I hit that 2-star diamond, like not only did I lose my rank, by the way, but I've also lost coaches who were, you know, active, and not just discount coaches, although I've lost a number of those lately too. But so very much the same feeling, I guess. I felt like things were going so well, and it was this like huge high, and then it just kind of plateaued, which was okay because, you know, growth is not linear, right? But then it just kind of went, it's like we're on the downward slope, and I'm just trying to figure out how to get back up again. So thank you for your call, and Colleen's video was amazing. I needed to hear that because I'm very solution focused as well. And I know we can't take it personally, but that's just my personality. Like I think I'm doing something wrong, and when I start to doubt myself, that becomes this huge downward spiral, and it comes through in everything I do. I don't know how people can see through it, but they do.
Yes.
So thank you for sharing and being so honest with us.
Oh, you're welcome. And thank you for sharing too. And it, you know, it is true. And that's the tough thing about like, you know, all this is that, you know, there's cycles in this business. You know what I mean? Like there are like ups, and then there's going to be like down times, and it's like, oh God, like you can almost have to feel it happen. Like I felt it happen like way before this call. I was like, oh crap, like hang on, like Jesus, we're going back down. It's like, oh God, like you just want to stop it. But you just got to kind of ride the wave. Well, you can't let it go way down. Like it's going to go up, and then there'll be, you know, there's seasons and there's cycles in the business, and I mean, I've seen it now being in it for almost 2 years, and it'll be doing awesome. And like you said, with the rank and stuff like that, guys, it's like we became a 10-star team, and it was like the next week it was like boom, and now we're down to 5-star team, and it's like, oh my God, it's like, but you just gotta think long-term vision. That's what I just keep telling myself, is that there's gonna be ups, there's gonna be downs, and you just gotta ride the wave. Like you have to force yourself on the days that you don't feel like doing it. Be like, you know what? All right, I'm just gonna refocus here. I'm not gonna do anything else but these 3 vital behaviors today. I don't feel like doing anything, but you know what? I'll send out 5 messages. I'll do 5 follow-ups. You know what I mean? I'll send a couple little forms with people, and I'm gonna just lay in bed and I'm gonna just read and do some personal development so I can get my head right, because it really is like 95% all up here. Like if you start talking yourself out of this and being like, I just don't know. I've been this for so long. Or, I could easily say that. Like, I wanted the team to become a 15-star team. And I could very easily say, and I wanted us to be a 15-star team by Summit. And I could really very easily say, no freaking way, that's not happening. Like, who knows when that'll happen, because now we're down to this and blah, blah, blah. This person's quitting and this person fell off and this person blocked me. And I could very easily get myself. You can see how you can start to get yourself into this negative spiral. But if you just ride the wave and know that it's gonna pass, like I keep telling myself that, because like I said, this isn't the first time that I've had a struggle. I've had struggles, but this one's been really tough and trying. And I just think back to those struggles and I just think they're gonna pass. Like they're gonna pass. Like you're gonna have your shittiest week one week and get like the lowest paycheck you've ever had, and you're gonna have an active coach quit. And then the next week, you're going to have like the highest paycheck you've ever had, and you're going to sign on 3 active coaches that hit the ground running. It's just kind of how the business works. You know what I mean? Ups and downs, ebbs and flows. And as long as you just keep trucking along and keep that vision of why you started, trust me, like I said, like, oh man, I could very easily be like, oh, I don't want to do this anymore. But honestly, let's be real. I'm not going back to my teaching career. I would be a fool to stop this, give this all up. You know what I mean? I worked so hard, it's like, why would I do that? And so, yeah, exactly. Trust me, I know I would never lose. I could never, I think I seriously would be into like a sheer state of depression if I didn't have all this, just everything, like you guys, the friendships, like the positive team, like the, picking you up, like supporting you every step of the way, helping people, those messages you get. Like that's another thing too. And this is what I think is a really good recommendation for you guys. I don't know if any of you do this already, but this really does help. When you feel like stopping and you feel like, you're so discouraged, what has really been helpful, and I just looked at this earlier today, every single positive message I've ever gotten from anybody, whether it was a coach, a challenger, a customer, discount coach, whatever, any kind of positive feedback that they gave me, I actually copied and pasted it. I put their name and a date, and I have a huge Word document with all those things, right? And so it's good to have that, because you tend to forget about that kind of stuff, those messages. Like, like when you're hearing the no's from people, or you're hearing the criticisms from people, or you're hearing like the naysayers, you tend to focus on those things. The same thing like with the people who quit. You tend to focus on the person who quit instead of the person who's there, the person who's showing up, the person who's putting in the time, the person who is positive and wants this, the person who sent you that message saying like, thank you so much for introducing me to this. This totally changed my life. You tend to kind of forget about those, but you have to force yourself to shift your focus to those positive things that are happening and stay away from those ones and realize that really it's like beyond your control. And so I feel like by looking at all those messages, like it just makes you feel so much better. It's like, all right, yeah, this is why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? This is why I'm doing this. It's all part of the business. People are going to come and they're going to go. And yeah, Jane, totally do it. It makes, I have a huge document by now, so long. And it really does, like, it really helps pull you out, because it just puts that little bit more belief in yourself. When you're kind of feeling down on yourself, you're reading those messages and it's like, yeah, that's right. Like, this is why I'm doing this. You know what I mean? I am making a difference. I am helping people. I am changing lives. It doesn't matter if every other Tom, Dick, and Harry is falling off and this person criticized me. Look at all these other positive things that are happening. Like, look at all the good I'm doing. And so just, getting yourself out of that rut and focusing on that positive. You know what I mean? Like, that's where all my energy is, all on the team now, the people on the team who are the go-getters, who are the ones doing this, who are the ones in this for the long haul. All those new people I'm talking to now who are like really excited to be part of this team. That's where my shift is. You know what I mean? It's not on the people who quit. It's not on the family member who knocked me down. It's on the positive people who are going to build me up, because I'm not going anywhere. So, does anybody have anything else that they wanted to share? Does anybody do that? Does anybody share, like, keep their, comments or anything in a document? It really does make a big difference, guys. Because sometimes when you're in this too, like, you get so wrapped up in like becoming a certain rank and hitting a certain amount of Success Club points, and then it takes all the fun out of it if that's all you're focusing on. You know what I mean? But if you're focusing just on, my mission is to help somebody every single day and change a life every single day, and how can I help this person? All that stuff falls into place like naturally. You know what I mean? Success Club falls into place naturally. Moving up and building your team falls into place much more naturally, because you're leading from your heart and not just the jewelry. You know what I mean? Like the rank and all that stuff. I mean, that's just like the eye candy. That doesn't really, you know what I mean? You want to get there, obviously, but you don't want to be just focusing on that to the point where you get so stressed out when it doesn't happen, or if you lose it, you're going to lose it. You're going to lose your rank, guys. It is going to happen. At some point in this business, you're going to lose it. And I remember my upline coaches saying that too. It's okay. And like Colleen said in the video, sometimes you are going to plateau and stay exactly, like, you're not going to rank advance or move up like for a certain amount of months. I mean, like, that's been me, guys, for a long time. It's like, holy mother of God, what is going on? But you just keep trucking along and doing your thing and being you and changing lives. And, and one thing too that I feel like I really feel like this has helped me even since day one is, like when you guys first got started, right? And you did a workout program or whatever, and like, you just started to feel good about yourself, right? You started to feel so awesome about yourself. Like when I got into this, I was 35 pounds heavier. I looked nothing like I look now. I did not feel like I feel now. I was like wicked unmotivated, just like a wicked stress ball, so anxious, no motivation to do anything, felt like crap about myself, like no confidence or anything. Never thought I would ever get back to where I was before babies, because everyone was against me, saying, oh, once you have babies, this is what happens, like you'll never get your body back, blah, blah, blah. So I was feeling like crap. But then when I started doing the 21 Day Fix and I started drinking Shakeology, then I started noticing those changes, right? And I started to feel so much better about myself and like so much healthier. And I just felt like just motivated. And I started to see the changes slowly. And I lost 9 pounds that first round I did the 21 Day Fix. And then I lost more the next, and I kept doing it till I eventually lost 35 pounds and felt and looked better than I did even before I had kids. And it was like, oh my gosh. And so when I'm reaching out to people and I'm talking to people, and even now, I think about that. Like, I think about how awesome these programs and products made me feel, and how much it changed, my life, and how I'm not annoying anybody. That I truly believe that if they try it, they are going to feel better than they've ever felt in their entire life if they just try it out. And so I think back to, if people like me, if someone like me really needed this, then so many other people need it too, and are just sitting around waiting for me to help them, So it does kind of help if you go into it with that attitude when you're reaching out and talking to people, like truly believing that people need this and that they're waiting for you to help them. Enos just said that she's been back and forth between ranks for the last year. And and it's okay. And like so many people, that's what happens. You know what I mean? And I really feel like, I think what happens is you just get down on yourself. Like you just get stuck in such a negative rut. You end up being like your worst enemy, and you end up just getting in your own way. And like time goes on, and it's like, and you're looking at all these other people that are like start at the same time as you, right? Rank advance and do all these things. And it's like, you're there, and it's like, you start to compare yourself, and oh my God, don't do that. You don't want to do that. Just do your own game, and everybody, do your own race, and everybody moves at different speeds. Like, who cares? You know what I mean? Just go the distance and just keep your head down and do your thing and what works for you. And you're going to get there. You're eventually going to get there. Like, guys, I know eventually our team will be a superstar team. I know that our team is going to be a 15 superstar team. I mean, the team is too good not to be. You guys totally deserve that. I know it's going to happen. Is it going to happen by Summit? You know what? It doesn't matter if it happens by Summit. It will eventually happen, right? I'm not going to stop shooting for that goal. I have it written down on my goal board. My corporate mentor, who I work one-on-one with, knows that I want our team to be 15-star superstar team by Summit. If it doesn't happen, like, I've told the whole team, right? I've told my corporate mentor. I've told the #1 coach in the company, guys, that I want this team to be a superstar team by Summit, and that I want our team to be a top 10 team by the end of the year. If it doesn't happen, does that mean I'm going to like hide under a rock and be like crap and go backwards? No, I'm going to just keep going because I know it's going to eventually happen. I can read the chat here. Yeah, Amy said her wedding plans have taken over her life. She has something wedding related every single night and weekend at this point, and it shows in my business. And you know what? It's totally okay. Like, I feel like a lot of people really struggle, and I even did too at the beginning of this business, with balance and just creating a balance. Especially if you kind of come into the business and you hit the ground running with this hard, you tend to want to work on it like all day, right? And that's the biggest mistake you can possibly make, because you can't do that for that long. It's not sustainable. You end up getting completely overwhelmed, completely stressed out. You end up having issues in your home with your spouse or significant other, your family. So it's so important to just know that you need to have a balance between your home life and your business. And I tell this when I have my Getting Started Right calls with all my new coaches. I tell them, all right, the first thing that you need to do is you need to be realistic with your schedule. So like, Amy, if you're a busy teacher and you're planning this wedding, you know what I mean? Like, that's going to be the priority. It's not that you're not going to work on the business, but you're not going to be able to put into it what you were putting into it before, because right now you need to plan a wedding, and that's supposed to be an exciting time, right? And you should never feel like, this business is a chore, or that, oh God, it's just not even fun anymore because I have to do X, Y, and Z. But sometimes, based on what's going on in your own personal life, you have to readjust your expectations with this business. And that can be hard if you are like a bit of a perfectionist and you have these high expectations for yourself. And so creating that balance is so important. And so I always tell my new coaches, honestly, I didn't do this when I first became a coach, and I wish somebody told me this, was to make sure that you are realistic with the time that you're going to dedicate to this business. Everybody has different schedules. Everybody has different slots of time and different amounts of time that they can dedicate to this business. So the most important thing that you can do is look at your schedule and be honest with yourself. Okay, what can I fit in? When can I fit my business in? And communicate that with your spouse or significant other. Like, I need to build a business. Like, I'm going to need to work on this, obviously, but this is what I was thinking. Like, let's be in agreement upon it, and then plug it in. Like, plug it in literally to your calendar every day. Like, okay, I'm going to be teaching all day. At night, I have to do cake tasting. You know what? When I come home, I'll do from like 8 to 9, or maybe when, in the morning, I'll do a half an hour, and then that night I'll do a half an hour, and you're going to plug it in. And then you're only going to work on the business during that time, because if you are working on this like all the time, kind of on and off throughout the day while you're trying to do other things, you're never giving anything 100%. So you're not going to be the best parent you could be if you have kids, because you're not really paying attention to them because you're writing back to messages. And then you're not really being the best coach and leader you could be because you're with your family as you're trying to answer this person's questions to try to help them reach their health and fitness goals. So just be honest with yourself of when you can work on this, and be really disciplined with that. You know what I mean? No one's going to come checking in on you. This is why I got rid of my news feed. This is why I got rid of notifications on my phone. And I've actually had coaches say to me, why haven't you written back to me? It's been 4 hours. It's like, I'm with my kids during the day. You know what I mean? That's the priority. And I do my business at night. So you can expect to hear back from me within a 24-hour span, and it will most likely be after 8 o'clock at night. And you only work on your business, guys, during that time. That's it. So if you have 1 hour, sit down, set the timer, 8 to 9, whatever, work, be wicked focused. Like I'm talking, don't have side conversations with coaches if they're messaging you about God knows what. Don't be messing around the team page. Don't be scrolling your feed. Focus, focus. That's one thing. I think that's why I moved so fast, guys, is because that was a strength I had. I was focused all the time. I never, ever got distracted, and I focused on it. And so you work on it during that time, and when the time is over, you're done. Like you are done until the next day when that time slot comes again. And that's it. So you sit down to work. You just, you sit down to work. You check into the team page real quick. It should take 1 minute. Scroll through, see what you missed, see if you tagged anything, leave it. Leave the page. Check your pages really quick and leave them. Like you shouldn't be hanging out on them. And then the invite in, check in with your coaches, adding coaches, and you just do the basics. And then, like I said, when it's done, it's done. It doesn't matter who messages you guys the next day. If it's not work time, business time, you should not get back to them. Because then I made the mistake, guys, trust me, of getting right back to people. And I'm talking coaches too on the team. Like people would message me, boom, Kathy's there, messaging me right back. The worst thing I could have ever done, because then people now know that if they have a problem, I can just message Kathy and Kathy will give me the answer right away. And then you're not producing independent people on your team. And that's not realistic because your team's going to grow over time. And like I have like 70 active coaches. Granted, they're not all doing anything, but that's how many I have. And so imagine if I was messaging back every single person whenever they message me, no. And so even now for myself, guys, I've kind of had to readjust it a little bit where, I can work on like Tuesdays and Thursdays, Nick is driving the car. And so I use that time as work time. I'm in my car and I'm writing back to people during that time. But then even at night, like I have a 1 block of time where I'm writing back to all the coaches, writing back to all my emails, and that's it. If somebody else messages me after that point when I'm doing my next task, they have to wait. They have to wait till tomorrow. Like I cannot do that because then you're not going to be focused. So honestly, best advice is to just, you're going to have things that are going to come up in your life. Like me, guys, even this past week, I usually sit down and work all night long. You know what I mean? Because of this struggle I've been going through, I haven't been able to do it all. And because of the kids haven't been sleeping. I got to be able to function with these kids the next day. And so I haven't been able to work nearly as much as I was before or would have wanted to, but it's just phases and they come and go and you just ride the wave. Let me see here. Oh yes, we all struggle. It's hard to get through it, guys. It really tests you. You know what I mean? When you're going through those times, but you got to keep the big picture. Like I'm talking big picture. That's why it always kills me when I have like these superstar coaches that come on and it's been like 3 months and they're like, no one's reaching out to me. Like I'm posting on Facebook and no one's reaching out to me. And then I want to say, well, I do say, I didn't have that happen until 16 months into the business. I am finally now able to hit Success Club 10 every single month because people come to me from my posts on social media. That is because I chose to show up and post 2 to 3 times every single day for 16 months. And that's the stuff that coaches don't see. The new coaches see when they come into this. They don't see all that. They don't see the post that I had no likes on, no comments on. The times I was like, why should I post? No one's even freaking reading them. But I did it anyways, because they are reading them and you learn that over time from experience in the business. So yeah, long term, I'm talking long term, really long term of showing up and taking action. Like it's more than just belief. Like you do have to have that belief and know that you can do it. But if you're not doing any of the actions, like, you can have all the belief in the world, All right, let me read these things here. Oh yeah, so you're welcome sharing the struggles. And guys, honestly, sharing the struggles is really hard for me because I've lived my entire life being a people pleaser and kind of a perfectionist almost. I'm the type of person where I never used to like to, you would never see me cry unless it was like a death, something major, because I felt that if I showed like sadness or just when things went wrong, that it would almost show that I was weak. You know what I mean? Almost that I was like flawed, you know? And so I kind of always lived my whole life like that, even like in my family, like with, you know, my older brother's 9 years older and my younger sister's 2 years younger. And I was like always like the child that everybody wants, you know what I mean? Or hopes they have. I always followed right along the path, right? You know what I mean? You know how that happens in everybody's family? You have one that kind of like goes off the deep end, and then you have one that's like, whoa, look at this one. Like they're way up here. Like look at all the credentials they have. And then there was me in the middle, just kind of always never doing anything wrong. And then never, ever, God forbid, I would never do anything wrong because I didn't want to upset my parents anymore because the other child was causing way too much sadness and trouble. So I always felt like I had to be like the rock, like the strong one, like the one, you know what I mean? And so that like carried me through. God almighty, it took me so long to get over that. Finally now I'm just like, oh, well, this is who I am. Like if I'm angry, I'm going to say it. And if I'm sad, I'm just going to burst into tears at the table. And I'm not going to hide my emotions anymore. This is just who I am. Like, why would I cover it up? And it feels so much better now to live like that. God almighty. So it was hard for me. My whole point is it's hard for me when I share when things aren't not going well. Like even when I made way back in the day, when I made that post that I was in $35,000 of credit card debt and that I had no savings account, that was like horrendous for me. Like I wanted to just like, I'm done coaching. Let's move to Hawaii now. And I don't care if we're in debt. Let's just go to a different island. I don't want anybody to see me because I was totally mortified and embarrassed by that. And I didn't want anybody to know. And I thought that they were going to look at me and be like, oh, I can't believe her. Look at, she looked like she had it all put together, but look at, in the end, look at her, you know? And I was just worried about what people were going to say about me. So I felt like that with that. And so, yeah, even like when I share struggles, like that is hard because I don't, you know, it's always that issue of showing, you know, weakness almost, or like flawed, you know. I'm working on it, guys. You know, it's getting so much better. Like I said, now I'll just cry at a drop of a hat. I say what I want to say. I don't candy coat things anymore. I don't walk on eggshells anymore with people. Friends along the way who were supposedly friends that I allowed to treat me kind of like crap because I was a pushover and just a total people pleaser. See you later. I don't deserve that. And so, God, it just feels so much more liberating when you are like that. So now that I've rambled and I've laid it all on the table for you guys, does anybody have anything else they'd like to share or add? I don't want to talk your ear off all night long. I've already gone on and on forever. But I hope that this helped like a little bit. You know, it is what it is. You get through it. We're all here for each other. You know, we're human. We struggle. There's good times, bad times, sad times. And you work through it. And like I said, guys, personal development, like if you're not doing it, just do it. You got to start doing it like every single day. Whatever you think is going to help you, like whatever your area you're struggling with, like don't just pick up a personal development book or, you know, get some book on Audible just because somebody recommended it. Like pick the area you're struggling with, like pick the area you're struggling with and then find the appropriate personal development book for that, you know. It'll help you. It really will. And it takes time. You're not going to like be turned around like that, but slowly it'll bring you back and control what you can control. All right, guys. Well, I'm thankful that I have all you guys. This is where I've been pouring my energy into and focusing on. It's been all you guys, you know, it's been the leaders on the team. We are the heart of the entire team. Seriously, guys, like the people in that leaders page, we are the energy of the entire team. Like it's us, you know, and the other 450 to close to 500 people are all looking to us and watching us, and they're following in our footsteps. And so I couldn't be happier, guys, seriously, to be with this group of people because you guys are awesome. So I hope you guys have a great night, and and a happy Easter, and I will see you guys next weekend. All right. Bye, everyone.